Anyways, so when you look at Metatron's cube, it's the mathematical construct of this one on the right top here. Okay, so look closely at this cube, right? That is mathematical dimensional expansion, which births the construct of dimensional shapes. So if the circle expands and becomes a bigger circle, it also divides into itself. So if you put a bigger circle and circles of those same circles around each other, and that you pull a circle around that, and then you have many of those circles around each other, it would essentially, for an example, be a structure like this, right? Like, let's say this is the math of scale itself, right? You get dimensional expansion because of that circle getting bigger. That is how that circle had gotten bigger. So the resonant structure of the shape of the circle is also the fact that it wants to fill the space within itself. So the smaller circles would also exist out of 7 circles each, and all of those circles would have 7 circles in them and around here. And all of this births like scale. There will be scale in here, there will be scale in here, and it's all going to be mathematical scale of space-time continuum. As you zoom in, you find the same patterns repeat infinitely in math. And as you zoom out, and this structure is basically the flower of life. But not just does it work in this method, it divides into itself in all possible ways. So, for example, it gets more complex and basically draws the full picture. And the toroid is basically the mathematical construct of the universe and everything created in its image, which is the mathematical construct of the flower of life and consciousness as a whole. So if you have the mathematical construct of all logic and dimensional space-time repeat infinitely, you would find the mathematical construct of consciousness itself. The angles of the water molecules of the circles as well as of dimensional space-time continuum actually proves all of this. I have the math. I'm still waiting for scientists to disprove me. So essentially what happens is as the universe gets rounder by getting more corners or becoming more complex in its mathematical construct, that actually births more space where the universe is. It would seem that everything, like let's say that is the mathematical grid of space-time continuum, right? So what essentially happens is the universe can't get bigger. The universe is space. And because of that, it can only become more complex by exponentially becoming more rounder according to the math of pi. And that is why we infinitely calculate pi. It's actually all written within the way reality functions. For example, because of the fact that pi is an infinite mathematical construct, you can't just calculate the whole thing at once. You need to calculate it as you go. And that basically says that in the universe, all possibility exists, but you can only walk the path you calculate, which means you manifest the pathway you choose throughout the possibility of all possibilities, all the different pathways ahead of you. So the universe is also so loving, it actually shows you that you can choose your path of either resonance or non-resonance. In other words, the terms hell and heaven and whatnot exist in a sense, but it is not necessarily a place or what you think it might be according to the years of indoctrination. You get a harmonic path ahead of you that resembles love, good, peace, and all that is in harmony. And you get a non-harmonic path, things that do not mathematically divide into this math, which is against the math of consciousness. And, well, essentially God said, I am infinity. This is physically the math of infinite or infinity. So if you think about it, we are created in the math of the mathematical construct of dimensional space-time, the math of consciousness. The universe is consciousness, God itself, and God does exist. It is proven mathematically. The reason why I think God has sent Jesus to this planet is because he knew how all of you would have been lied to. It is massive. So I really have a big call upon the world to please heed my words. It's more important than you might realize. but choose the path of harmony, beauty, and love. It's not worth walking the other one. I have been there.